Morning. Now, every single time my good friend Dave, Lawn Boys Post 975, every single time he ever does a tag video, I always, without fail, will think in my head and then subsequently post something on the video, like a response comment. I'll say something like, Dave, great tag, I'm going to do a response to this. And I never do. I never do. Well, once or twice I have, and it's pretty poor return for someone who keeps promising to do it every time. But I'm doing this one. I'm actually doing this one. I don't know what my excuse is. I'm pretty busy sometimes, to be fair. I'm definitely lazy, to be even fairer. So yeah, I guess my excuse for not doing more of these is that I'm a busy, lazy person. That makes sense. So anyway, Dave come up with a really good tag. I'm looking at the corner of the screen. I'm not cross-eyed. If you are cross-eyed, nothing wrong with that. Just saying. And the tag is 10 games that you've never played, or 10 games that I've never played. Excuse me. Recovering from a cold, still, there will be a lot of coughing and stuff. Apologies in advance. It's just the way it is. And yeah, so 10 games you've never played. Now, not 10 random games that, you've just never played. I mean, 10 games that have caused a bit of a stir, a well-known game, sold millions. Everybody's heard of them, the kind of the blockbuster games. So 10 of them which you've never played. So I've come up with a list. They're not in any order whatsoever, other than how they just came to me randomly. And first up is Mass Effect. Now, or quite frankly, Mass Effect 2 for that matter. Never played either one of them. Now, I have had them, ridiculously had them, never played them. And you can, I don't know why you'd want to see it, but if you want to watch my Xbox 360 collection from like 15, 18 months ago, they are on there. And I hadn't played them then, and I still haven't obviously played them now. It's not because they're bad games, or I think they're bad games. They look really good. I don't even know what they are. They're kind of like, is it a first-person shooter cross RPG, or with RPG elements, adventure-y thing? I'm just not really certain, to be honest. But it looks good. I know a lot of people rave about it. It's obviously sold millions upon millions of copies. And another one is out this year, I imagine. So, it's out this year or next year. Probably this year it's coming out at some stage. And maybe I'll get it, maybe I won't. I don't know. But yeah, Mass Effect 1 or 2, never played them. Number 2 on the list, Super Metroid. Never played it. And I'm talking NES, SNES, Wii, GameCube, DS, 3DS, whatever else it's come out for. It might be a Nintendo exclusive game. I'm not certain. I think it is, but in this day and age, everything comes out on everything, so maybe it's been out on Xbox Live and all the rest of it. I don't know. But yeah, never played it. It looks really good, and I nearly bought it when it came out on the Wii. Was it last year or the year before? I know a lot of people, typically on YouTube, were jumping on the bandwagon, as we all do, myself included, with certain games. Skyrim was the latest one. Everyone picks up Skyrim because everyone else is picking up Skyrim. Even though it's meant to be a great game, obviously. But and Metroid for a while was one of them games that everyone just seemed to be picking up. But I never did. I nearly did. I went as far as putting it into my basket, my virtual basket on Amazon, but I just didn't go ahead with it. And then I was glad I didn't, because the price just came flying down, like half price. But even then, I still didn't have any real urge to buy it, so I just left it. Eventually, one day, I'll get to play it, I'll get to own it, but absolutely not bothered about it at this moment in time, and never played it. Third up is Half-Life 2. Apparently meant to be a pioneering game. Now, I had played the first Half-Life very briefly, but never Half-Life 2. A good friend of mine, called Ross, probably not going to be watching this, of course. Well, definitely won't be watching it, unless I send him a link. That's pointless information to throw out there. But yeah, no, he loves it. He absolutely raves about it. It's his favourite game ever, and I've just never really played it. Now, I've kind of got a prop here handy. I kind of have it, in the sense that it's on here, on the orange box on the PS3, and available for the 360. Half-Life, or is it Half-Life 2 Episode 2? Is that the sequel to... I don't even know what I'm talking about, so maybe I'll completely balls that up. Maybe this is like a sequel to Half-Life 2. But either way, I've never played Half-Life 2. It looks fantastic. Like I say, I know it's meant to be a really pioneering title. It introduced a lot of stuff, and it's acknowledged, widely acknowledged, and accepted as a great game, but I've just never played it. Next up, I have never played any. I played like a demo or kind of when I used to work at EB, back in 97, 98. I played it there just to sort of test it for someone else who wanted to buy it, but that doesn't count. That doesn't count as playing it. I've never owned it, never played it. Never played any of them, and that's a Final Fantasy game. Just never. They don't hold any interest at all. Although in saying that, I do sometimes look at it and think, I can see myself getting into it, but I just haven't. I've never done it. But like I say, when Final Fantasy VII, which I guess was in '97, I think, when that was big news, you know, I was kind of interested in getting it, but I just never did. And then any game since then has just passed me by completely. No interest at all, other than, like I say, when I watch other people play it, I kind of think, yeah, I might get into that one day. But yeah, never played any Final Fantasy game. The next one up is arguably bigger than that. Now, technically I have played this, but let me explain what I've played of it, and then you'll probably agree, hopefully, that it doesn't really count. And before I tell you what the game is, in fact, I can't even remember what it was. It was either one or the other. I'll explain more in a second. But it looked good, it looked great, but I had no interest in playing it. And then a friend lent it to me, and he said, play it, because I can't believe you hadn't played any games of this series up until then. And this was in around about 1998, 99. And I was like, well, it doesn't really look that interesting, so I hadn't played it. And so like I say, he lent it to me, he said, just give it a try, and all the rest of it. Now, I had this game for around about 2 weeks. You know, I lent it off him for 2 weeks, and I hadn't played it once. Just didn't have the desire, the urge. It just wasn't really me. It wasn't for me. And then one day I thought, well, he's going to ask for it back soon, so I'm just going to put it on for 5 minutes, just so I can say, and then I wouldn't be lying, that I played it. But I'll put it on for 5 minutes, and that's all. And that's all I did put it on for. So 5 minutes, I wandered around this bit of grass, and I talked to a few people, and I just got bored. I was bored out of my skin. Might come to a shock to some people, but it's a Zelda game. It was either the Majora's Mask or Ocarina of Time. I can't remember. But I've never played, other than that 5 minutes, just to shut him up, never played a Zelda game in my life. And I'm quite proud of that, really. But maybe you're watching this thinking, wow, what do you mean, that's a great game? Yeah, it's meant to be great, but I've never played it. And that is pretty shocking, I guess. But yes, that's number 5. Number 6, there's kind of 3 I'm going to include rolled into one here, because I don't know what the difference is. I don't know the difference. And they are Pokemon. I might even be pronouncing them wrong. Pokemon, Digimon, Pikachu. I don't even know what they are. I don't know what they are, and I keep seeing people talking about them, particularly on Game Boys and stuff. They're picking up, they'll hold it up and they'll be like, got a Game Boy, was it like Pokemon Blue, Pikachu Green, or whatever. I don't even know what the hell it is, and I'm watching it thinking, what is this? And I'm too stubborn and too selfish and stupid enough to Google it. I don't want to know. I'm pleased with myself that I don't know what Pokemon, Digimon, or Pikachu is. Haven't got a clue. Never played them. Never will. I just don't like the sound of it. It just sounds childish. So on that basis, I've just always avoided it. Maybe I'm missing out here. Maybe they're really great games. I just somehow doubt it. So yeah, never heard. Well, I've heard of it. Don't know what it is. I can't stress how much I don't know what it is. I just keep hearing these bloody names. Excuse me again. Number 7. Uncharted 2, or 3 for that matter. Now, I have played Uncharted, but even then, it was only around about 12, 15 months ago. I had it for ages in the collection, and I just hadn't got around to playing it. And a good friend, Pete, Snestastic, I'm sure you'll all be aware of Pete, he kept saying to me consistently, play Uncharted. And I was like, yeah, I will. And then a few weeks later, have you played Uncharted? No, I haven't played Uncharted. Anyway, so one day I eventually put it on, because not just because Pete was saying so, but it's a great game. I knew it was a great game. Everyone talks about it. And then when I finally did put Uncharted on, I blitzed through the whole game in within, I don't know, about 10 hours, spread across 2 days, and completed it. And then I don't think I went back to it. Still got it. I did have Uncharted 2. I had it for a long time, but I wasn't playing on it, and I thought, well, I'm going to sell it because the value was depreciating all the time. So I thought, well, I'm going to get $25 for it, and then I'll buy it back a year or 2 years from when I sold it, and, it'll be maybe $10 or something. So that's what I decided to do. So I haven't got it. So you will see at some stage this year Uncharted 2 on a pickup video. So, yeah, I will get it. But I did have it, and I just didn't have any real desire to play it. But like I say, when it comes to the original Uncharted, I played it, I loved it, and Uncharted 2 is apparently, meant to be 10 times as good as Uncharted. So, yeah, it's a great game, which I had for 6, 7, 8 months and didn't play. I will play it eventually. I acknowledge it's meant to be a great game, just not yet got around to it. Number 8 on the list is Shenmue 2. Shenmue? Whatever. I'm going to call it Shenmue 2. Played the first one on the Dreamcast, loved it. I loved how it was like kind of this open world environment. You know, you could go into houses, you could talk to people on the street, you could buy things, you could interact. A really cool feature I loved at the time, you could go and play one of the arcades, the virtual arcades. What an amazing touch that was. I absolutely loved it. And I just loved silly things in it, like, it felt like kind of so real to a degree that your character, was it Ryu or something? Or am I thinking of Street Fighter? Probably thinking of Street Fighter too. But whatever you call him anyway, you could like, at the end of the day, you know, you could make him go to bed. And I just felt it was really cool. And this is going to sound really stupid. I'm going to say it because I don't care. I was only, well, I say only, old enough to know better, like 19 or something. 18, 19, 20. It's creeping up all the time. But sometimes if I played it really late at night, I shouldn't be saying this. Why am I saying this? This should be edited. This is going back to when it came out, by the way. You know, I don't do it now. But I might, who knows? No, I don't. But I used to, if I was playing it really late at night, I would make the character like go to bed, and then I would knock it off. That just sounds mental. You know, rather than just knock it off and save it while I'm standing in the middle of the street, I wanted to kind of keep it real. I wanted to keep it realistic, and I thought, well, if the character goes to bed in the game, it's kind of like I am as well. Yeah, that just sounds mental. But Shenmue 2 apparently meant to be an absolutely fantastic game, and much better than the sequel, and I've not yet played it. I think I may have owned it in the past. May have. You know, maybe late 90s, early 2000s, but never played it. Never played it. But it's meant to be a great game, and I can't wait to eventually get to grips with it. But I'm probably going to play through the first one first. First one first? That was a good phrase. 9 on the list is World of Warcraft. Absolutely doesn't interest me whatsoever. One of my wife's cousins loves it. He's always on it. And it's not just him. I mean, I've met a number of people over here. Maybe it's a worldwide thing, I don't know. But a lot of people over here who absolutely love it. And they're on it all the time. It's like you'll see them one day. And it gets to the point, there's a couple of people in particular, I won't name any names. But I used to kind of go up to them and go, oh, what'd you do last night? Do you do anything exciting? These days, when I see them, I go, World of Warcraft last night? Yeah? Yeah. And they just tell me about it, and I haven't got a clue what they're saying. Doesn't interest me at all. Maybe it's great, maybe I'm missing out, but nah, not for me. And then last but not least is another current one, and it's also another craft one, and it's Minecraft. And this game, to me, is bollocks. I've got to be honest. I'm just gonna say it how it is. Now, there are people I'm subscribed to, and you'll know, like, if I watch your channel and stuff, and I, you know, like you as a person, and I do watch the occasional Minecraft video that you do. There's a few of them, but I don't watch them all because I just don't get it. I don't get it, and I just don't like Minecraft. It just looks really boring to me. Then again, maybe not so much boring. There's part of me looks at it as it looks very kind of chilled out, as if I could have a laugh with it. But there's something about it which just, maybe it's that thing again where everyone's doing it, and so perversely it kind of puts me off. You know, a lot of people will jump on the bandwagon and start to do it. With me, it usually has the opposite effect. If everyone's doing it, I look at it with a treat with an air of suspicion, and I kind of avoid it. So I've not yet gone on Minecraft. Now, I did actually look regarding its availability. I thought about downloading it because I presumed it was free. It just looked cheap. And then I figured out you've got to pay like $5 for it. And the minute I saw that, I was like, oh, forget it. And I downloaded it and tried it out for nothing, but I'm not paying for it. Forget it. So, yeah, Minecraft, it's just absolutely not for me. But you may be watching this now thinking, well, I used to think that about Minecraft, but then I played it, and it's great. You know, I'll accept that it might be great, and maybe I'm missing out, and maybe I should give it a try. But just my initial reaction, my first reaction, gut instinct, is whenever I see it, I just think, that looks boring. That just looks absolute bloody boring. But I stand corrected. So that's 10 games that I've never played, which are really common. Now, some of them blockbusters. And if you want to do a response, I'll put a link to Dave's original video before. Post a video response to him because he's the originator of it. And I'm sure you're aware of his channel. He's rapidly closing in on 1,000 subs. He's probably just a few short. So, yeah, maybe I can help him get to that 1,000 barrier, and then I can forever say, I helped you get to 1,000. Don't you forget that. But maybe not. But so please, if you've never subbed, stick my teeth. And if you've never subbed his channel before, check him out. He's a really nice guy. I've watched him since he started. Genuine guy. Love his channel. That's all from me. See you later.